Hi guys, a very warm welcome to our webinar for today, which is about how to find love during COVID-19. So a very quick introduction, I'm Violet, CEO and co-founder of Lunch Actually, or also better known as Chief Cupid. So very happy to be able to have so many of you join us here. So I think some of you have been asking, are you the only person on this call? So don't worry, you are not. You are actually in good company. There are more than 150 and the number is growing right now of people that's on this call. Because we are using a different software, you are not able to see the rest of the people, but obviously you are able to see all of us panelists. And so maybe before we get started, I'd like to find out a bit more about our participants who have joined us today. So please feel free to use the chat to answer some of my questions. So first question is, which country are you from? Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, what country are you from? Yeah, just feel free. You can just type it in the chat. Okay, we have Indonesia, China, Singapore. Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, wow, Philippines, Hong Kong, Scotland, Norway. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so Kepong Baru. Oh my goodness, I used to live in Kepong as well. Malaysia, Penang, Pahang, Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, California. Wow, amazing. Yeah, thanks guys. So happy to have so many of you guys calling from many different places. Serangoon, nice. Okay, so the second question that I have for you is, so a number of us now, we are in circuit breaker or in MCO. So what have you been spending your time doing during this time? Yeah, you can choose from one of the options. Cooking, nice. Anybody else? Wow, some people have been swiping and chatting, exercising, Netflix and cooking, moping. Okay, Louis, don't mope. I'm glad you are here with us today so you can learn how to date more effectively during this time. In office, wow. Okay, so working from home, teaching online. Wow, that's awesome. Thanks, guys, for your great responses. Okay, so thanks for engaging with us. And this is really how this tone of our webinar is going to be today. We want it to be really interactive. We want to be fun. So, continue to interact with us on the chat as we go about today's webinar. So I think, a lot of you have seen that our topic for today is really about how to find love during COVID-19. And we are looking to cover at least 3 major topics. So before we get started, I really would like to introduce to you our speakers for today. So we have 2 super awesome speakers who are Cupids from our company. So first off, we have Andrea. So, okay, let me just, okay. So Andrea, you want to spend a bit of time just to give a quick introduction about yourself so that our participants today can get to know you better?
Okay, hi everyone. Hi, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us today. So my name is Andrea. I'm actually a senior dating consultant at Lunch Actually. So this is my 6th year in Lunch Actually, and I really enjoy my work because it's really super meaningful and also is very interesting. I meet singles every day and I will listen to their stories and ultimately to get them attached. So today I think I have already matched about more than 500 singles. Thank you.
Wow, Andrea, that's amazing. You have already matched more than 500 singles. Maybe you can share with our participants today, like maybe one of the most memorable couple that you have brought together, or what is a very memorable incident that, once you think about what you do, that's the story that will pop up in your head.
Okay, so I think it'll be a more memorable will be this couple. They are in their late 40s, so they don't have a good impression of each other during their first date. So during the date feedback, I listened to both of them, and also from there, I encourage them to take the next step, take a leap of faith to go out again to understand about each other. So in the end, what I found is because the lady actually not feeling well on the date itself, so she appeared to be quite glum. So the guy actually thought that she's not keen in him. So in the end, they went out for second and third date, and they are attached.
Wow, that's an amazing story, Andrea. Thanks for that. So, I mean, I have so many learning points from that story. So, first and foremost, like some of you might be thinking, okay, I'm already in my 40s. Is it still possible to find love? So, from Andrea's story, you can hear that yes, for sure, even though you're in your 40s, you definitely still can find love. And secondly, what I've learned from that story is that just because you didn't have a good first date, like a lot of people, they always think like, oh, it's always love at first sight. So, obviously, that's not true. And don't make assumptions. So just because the person might come across as upset or grumpy, it's not always about you. It could be the person is really just feeling not well that day. And always give yourself a chance and give the other person a chance. So like what Andrea has shared in this story, like because they went on a second date, they went on a third date, and now they are actually happily dating. Thank you so much, Andrea, for your introduction and also your story. Okay, and now I would like to introduce our second speaker. So our second speaker, we have Melinda. So Melinda, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Melinda. I'm a senior date coach and a relationship manager at Lunch, actually. I work with my clients on finding matches for them, and I work with them during their dating journey as well, and all the way to in a relationship. So even if they are already dating someone, I still walk the journey with them. So what I love about my job is meeting new people all the time and having them trust me, and just learning more about everyone's, because everyone is so different. So I never have a formula, or never everyone always blow my mind with new things or new perspectives. So I always feel that this journey with Lunch actually has always been improving myself as well, not just helping my clients.
Thank you so much, Melinda, for that. So some of you must be thinking, hey, Melinda looks really familiar. So Melinda is actually one of our Mr. Singapore winners. Which year was that, Melinda?
Oh my goodness. That was a very long time ago. I think it was almost 10 years ago. I had I had a great time at that time, good opportunities to represent Singapore overseas. And I think it has helped me a lot, like open up my eyes. I learned a lot of things about people from different nationalities. So I think that was a different part of my life. And now I still bring that over to what I'm doing now, because I am dealing with a different group of clients at this moment. So they are very well exposed clients. So I think with all the exposure I had during all my experience in those days, helped me very much with dealing people from all different nationalities.
Okay, that's awesome, Melinda. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so now we are going to jump into the topics that we have shared with you guys that we're going to talk about. However, I just want to remind you now there's more than 200 of us on the call right now. Just want to remind you, do stay until the end, because, firstly, we'll be answering all your questions that you might have. And we also have something very special for you as well. So do stay with us until the end. Okay, so the first topic we really want to be talking about, obviously, is about our current situation, COVID-19. So I think across all the countries that we are in right now, like just now we saw that we have our friends from Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Philippines, and even some people are in US. So I think one very similar thing that all of us are going through right now is we are asked to stay home, social distancing. So I think one of the questions that a lot of singles probably would have is this the end of dating? It's like, how are we going to date if we are like, we have to stay at home and we are not supposed to like meet anybody face to face. So today I'm very, very happy to have, of course, Andrea and Melinda with me to share about what are some of the best strategies and platforms to still be able to find love during this COVID-19 situation. So Andrea, maybe you want to start off first?
So I believe even in this situation, life still goes on. So in fact, we do organize virtual dates. So initially, of course, clients would prefer a face-to-face kind of a meetup. That is very natural. But after, because of this COVID-19, we are supposed to be staying at home. So that's why they are actually quite open now to go on virtual dates. So we have organized a few virtual dates already, and the feedback is really awesome. So one of the couple actually spent about 3 hours together. Yeah, so feedback from them is that they really enjoy, and it doesn't sound so scary or awkward as it's perceived. And also one of the guy actually very interestingly, like creative, to actually show the lady, oh, this is my balcony, this is my plants that I have planted, so what do you think? So this is really a fun way. I think in this kind of situation, we can get a little bit more creative in meeting people. So it doesn't have to stop. Okay.
Awesome. So, Andrea, are there any stories, like that you have heard from your clients of maybe how they are other than using virtual dating platforms, or maybe they have also successfully used other platforms, for example, dating apps that to meet their partner or special other.
Okay, sure. So maybe I can share, like, of course, like for now, singles, the most commonly used platform will be dating apps and websites, because it's really free to download and you can really download very fast, like 3 or 4 apps at one time. So maybe I can share with you more about my friend's experience. So this is my bestie. So she actually met her husband, current husband, through a dating app. So she's actually quite skeptical about meeting people on dating app. But after a few chats, the guy actually asked her for a WhatsApp video call. So she agreed. Then after which they went on a real date, and the rest is history. So then ultimately they got married, and I think my friend is just a lucky few to have really met someone on dating app. So I think my tip and advice always to my client will be to be very careful, especially when they are on dating app. And for ladies, I think we are much vulnerable, so we may fall in the prey of these scammers. And our scammers are very, very high tech, Violet. So my clients actually share with me a lot of horror stories. So maybe I can share with them.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the things that we will be talking about, like
Yeah,
yeah, in a couple of minutes time. So
yeah,
yes, Andrea, please hold that thought. We definitely want to
sure,
be sharing with them. Thank
sure.
you. And now let's maybe move on to Melinda. Melinda, so I understand that you also have some strategies for our participants today on how they can use different strategies or platforms to actually find love during COVID-19.
Yes, so as we all know, the dating game has just changed completely in this last few weeks. So we need to change our own mindsets and our priorities as well and adapt to a new normal, which is what all the governments are saying right now. And I know that it has been very challenging all this while, even with face-to-face meetups, and now more so with social distancing. But the good news is that people are not going to stop looking for love. And with these restrictions that we have now, right, we can't go out and all that, we are even more lonely. And because we are more lonely, we will tend to want to seek more for companionship as well. And it will make sense for us to use certain online platforms that we can reach out to people without leaving our homes, which is what Andrea has mentioned, like virtual dating or apps. And well, at this time is the best time to use these apps to explore them, and also to be very careful on them. Some tips I would say to strategies perhaps to make them more successful when we are trying this out would be consider someone that you usually wouldn't consider in real life or even while you were using the apps previously. You would have swiped left on them previously, but now since we have so much time, spend more time looking at each profile, and really, just consider maybe there's a chance I may want to know this person a little bit more as a friend first. Okay, and then also when you do connect with someone, give this person a bit more chance, second chance, I mean, like to engage with you, because not everyone are savvy on apps. They take time to warm up, so we lose patience, I know, when we are using platforms like that, and then we will move on very fast, like, oh, this person is not very chatty, I'm just going to chat with someone else. Well, don't do that. Just give this person another chance, and who knows, you may be able to engage deeper conversations now that we have so much more time. And of course, I always tell all my clients to be very honest now. So from the beginning, this is a great tip, to be honest, to be very honest about yourself to anyone that you're going to meet online. Because if you really, like this person that you meet, you want to remember what you said previously, and to be able to meet this person in person in future and still be that person that you have presented yourself as.
Thank you so much, Melinda, for those tips. So one thing I definitely agree on is to do not judge too quickly. And just like what Melinda has said, this is the best time to really spend some time to get to know each other, because I mean, like, we are all at home, we have a bit more time. So don't just, like, okay, this is not going to work out, I'm not going to talk to this person again. Yeah, always try a second date or a third date. And now it's so easy to do virtual dates anyway, like you don't need to actually dress up and actually get out of your house, like drive or take MRT or something like that. So now on the topic of virtual dates, right? I would really like to get again some thoughts from our dating consultants and date coach today. So, singles should take this chance because, they are still able to meet new people, but in a safe and convenient way. So, Melinda, as a dating coach, maybe you can share with our participants today, right, some tips on how they can actually master this virtual dates, because I understand that virtual dates is something very new. Like most of us, most of our singles have not done anything like that previously. They are always meeting face to face, so it's something, I would say, very different, and we would love to give them some great tips so that they can get started on this.
Okay, I'd love to share. In fact, I have so much to say, but I will not say everything. So when we're talking about face-to-face meetings, we will use 5 senses, or at least 4 out of 5, okay, which is, of course, our sight, our sound, we listen, our touch, perhaps, and smell. Taste maybe not so much lah, okay. But now with virtual dating, we will only get to use what, 2, which is our sight and our hearing, right? Our sound, and these 2 are actually our top senses that we use most most important even. So with these 2 senses that we still can use virtual dating, so we should play ourselves like to our advantage using these 2 senses. So what do I mean? Means that you present yourself visually in the best way, your body language, as well as your facial expression, so you get feedback both ways. So facial sight is very important, and of course voice, like how you speak, how your voice sounds to the other person is very important. So play that to your advantage. So let's say we want to talk about the virtual date itself. How do we master it? Very technical actually, some of the things, but I'll run down with you very quickly. First of all, I would say background. So background is very important. So before you make your video call, right, take some time to choose a place where you want to be at, to make sure that it's quiet. You don't have a lot of people walking around you. I just heard a feedback from one of our dating consultants who did a virtual date, a one-to-one virtual date for our client. And this poor lady, because everyone was at home, right, and then she couldn't find a quiet space, so she was running around with her laptop from her balcony to her bedroom to the dining room, and everyone was around her, and she was so embarrassed. Yeah, so I think probably choosing a good time and a good place to be quiet, and then make sure your background is non-cluttered, clean. So why that's important? Because when we are looking at someone, let's say you're looking at me and I'm talking, right? Sometimes your attention span, will move, right? And then you get distracted and you start looking at what's around that person. So having a clean background, something that don't distract the person, is very important. Yeah, if really no choice, do what we are doing now. So as you can see my background, so I'm not really in Manhattan. That's my Manhattan background. Andrea is not really in her kitchen, and Violet, that's not her living room. Yeah, so use a virtual background because that really helps privacy wise, and also to it kind of enhances the whole feeling of you talking to you. Okay, so that would be background. And another few important thing would be lighting. So lighting is very important as well. We usually don't look good on video calls, and the main reason why is because of lighting. So very important, have it in front of you. If you don't have natural light, so I'm sitting actually in front of a window right now, so this is a natural light. But if I really don't have that, indoors, I will put a lamp behind my computer, and that will help. Okay, and keep in mind the angle of your light. If you have a light coming from below you, right, you're gonna look like ghost stuff. Same is on top. Yeah, so always keep it in front of you. And also technical wise, make sure your internet connection is good. Test your equipment before you go online, and very important is use headphones. So like what I'm doing right now, right, using a headphone, it focuses your voice in one direction. It doesn't have a lot of echo, right? And when you hear echo, you kind of get irritated sometimes. So yes, use a headphone. And camera angle, yes, camera angle is very important. So similar to lighting, right? So a camera angle makes you look good. So how do you place your camera? So if you're using a laptop camera, so just make sure that you are at eye level. And when you're speaking with the person, as I'm speaking with you, I'm looking at the camera. So yes, sometimes I will wander down and I'll look at myself on the screen, right? And we tend to do that on Zoom calls or video calls. it can't be helped. We really like to look at ourselves, but if you are really more mindful, just try to look at the camera more often, because even in real person, we like to look at each other. You know, eye contact is very important. Yeah, so do make some eye contact by looking at the camera when you're having a video call. Okay, and also the tilting of your. I realized this. I've done so many video calls, and I realized that a lot of people tend to tilt their camera looking upwards. I mean, you know, like their video is looking at the ceiling. I think they just don't want to be seen too much lah. But I think video calls are very important. It's all about you face to face, right? So put yourself in frame like what I am now. So like in the middle of your screen, you know, and don't tilt your camera up, because yeah, it doesn't make you look good. You have your double chin. And also not too low, okay, because then I mean, don't tilt down, because then yeah, it actually gives this inferior like I'm superior to you if I'm looking down. So it gives the impression as well. So the camera angle is also very important. And also want to jump very quickly to dressing. So if you can see the slides, right, don't try not to wear something that's too loud, too flowery, too dark or bright colors, bold prints, and ensure the color don't blend into your background. So if you're wearing white, make sure your background is not white, because you'll disappear. So wear something nice and simple with some details, because we are just going to look at my hip and my up to probably my mid chest, near to my waist. So just keep your details up here, but not too much. Something nice and simple. Also, yes, like the ladies one as well, the men and the ladies, something nice and simple, a bit of skin, but not too much is really nice. Very important also, right? One more thing is ensure you're fully dressed. I think Andrea has a good story to tell later about yeah, you know, you had to get up and get something, right? And then you forgot that you're not, you know, dressed appropriately below the waist. So it's very awkward. Yeah, try try not to move around too much, as we want to be like, you know, when we sit down to a conversation or we sit down to a meeting, you don't want to be moving around all the time. So make sure you have everything with you before you start the video call. You know, make sure your handphone, your computer is plugged in, is charged. You have your drink, so you don't have to move around all the time. Yeah, and so also how to, I got so much to say, right? So I cut short, okay, to the date itself. Okay, so to the date itself, treat it like honestly, like how you are on a real date. Yeah, so just talk nicely, talk about topics that are not sensitive, talk about things that both of you like. And after the date, you can ask for number. Yes, and how are you going to ask for the number? Just very directly, you can ask if you are comfortable to take this off video. Maybe we can talk more casually without the video going on. And if you are comfortable with each other, I always recommend to also set up another date, another virtual date. That could be a second date. And then do something like play games, like in our slides earlier we showed, the house party is one game that is pretty popular right now. I think everyone's playing, even among us colleagues, we are playing that a lot. So that helps to just not talk too much, and that helps us to engage doing something else. Or you can cook together and eat together. So that is, you can set that as a second date. Okay, so I've been rambling on. Sorry, Violet, anything you want to ask?
Thank you so much, Melinda, for the great tips. I think one that I thought, you know, I definitely must remember for myself as well is to how I'm positioning the camera and like where I'm looking up or down. I think that's a great tip, because yeah, sometimes, you know, people are just thinking, okay, I just don't want to show as much of my face, and then they'll kind of tilt it in a certain way. But I agree with you, you don't want to end up like having like double chin, or you don't want to end up just looking very strange. So I think that's great. And just to answer some questions that I've seen in the Q&A box as well. So some people have been asking us, what's this software that we are using that shows this beautiful background? So just want to let you know, actually it's Zoom. Zoom actually has a function called virtual background. So you can check it out. There are some pre backgrounds that they have put in there that can use, or you can actually just download, you know, just search on Google, you know, like virtual backgrounds for Zoom, and you'll find some fantastic backgrounds that you can use. And I think just to add on what Melinda has been talking about, like by just using different backgrounds, it can also show your different personality as well. So, like just before we jump onto this call, Melinda was saying like, oh, it's like Andrea loves to cook, so she's showing a background of a kitchen, and like Melinda, obviously, she's like a very cosmopolitan, and she has chosen Manhattan. And for me, I think someone did mention just now that, wow, Violet's house is really nice, but I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's actually a virtual background. So I was just looking for something that has purple in it. So I'm glad you enjoyed my house. Okay, so like to move on to the next topic that we'll be discussing for today, which is, of course, with the COVID-19 situation, usage of dating apps have definitely increased. I think we have talked about that just now. However, a lot of singles are constantly getting matched with fake profiles, or they are being catfished. And in fact, we have heard like many stories of love scams. So one interesting fact that I'd like to share with you guys is that love scammers actually make as much money, if not more, than dating services and dating apps. So that's how crazy it is. And obviously they have their SOP, they know what they are doing, they are not a one-man show, they are syndicates. So that's really, really scary. So maybe we can start off with Andrea. I believe, Andrea, you have some scary stories just now you were telling us about that you have heard. Like, so what are some of these ways that our singles, like can look out, and how to make sure that they stay safe and protected against scammers?
Okay, sure. So yes, I actually heard a lot from my clients, especially when they told me that they are on dating apps. So scammers now actually are very, very high tech, and they really know how to strike on the weakest point of the member. So scammers will also like make you feel that you are so much in love that they will be actually calling you every day and letting you speak to their family members. So this is what shared by my members. So like this guy from France, he's super handsome according to his profile, and he's a director of a I forgot which industry, but then he will actually call her in the morning to greet her, good morning, my love. He will call her during the lunchtime, dinner time, as well as wishing her good night. So in fact, he even like introduced the whole entire family clan to her, like from her parents, cousins, to grandparents, so everyone. So they are actually so much making my client feel that, wow, you are so sincere to let me see every one of your family. So in the end, it's very sad that she actually got scammed quite a lot of money from this guy. So I think one tip to watch out for, right, is to really, because this profile is too good to be true. One thing is his profile pic. So you really have to be very careful of the picture of the person that is on the dating app. So be very mindful if you feel that, wow, this profile is really very good, and is it really true? So if this person comes and speaks to you on the dating app, try to actually get him to say a few things of perhaps like his work, ask a few things. And if, the red flag will be if he contradicts himself. So when he says about A, then when you ask him back about A again, he talks about B. So I think this is what we should be looking out for. And one of my clients also shared with me that she met this guy over a dating app for a short period of time, and they started to talk over WhatsApp. So she will actually look forward to her calls every day. And although that she knows that she's being scammed, she had this gut feel, and her friends, she shared with her girlfriends. Her girlfriends say that, wow, this profile is too good to be true. He should be a scammer. But sadly, she continued to, carry on with this relationship with him. I asked her why. So she feels that she has never been in love before, and this is the first time that a guy has been so nice to her. And she feels very, very happy every day going to work, and she feels that she also dresses up herself more often, and she becomes more cheerful and more bubbly. So I think ladies especially have to be very careful on the dating app, because there's a lot of scammers out there, and also like what Violet shared with us about catfishing. So catfishing will be like people are using profiles of not their profile, so they are actually extract out from other people's Facebook, can be Instagram to put as their profile pic. And another tip is don't be more really mindful. And also, if you really want to find love, I think go to an accredited agency who will do like detailed screening of the members, so that you will be rest assured that you'll be meeting someone that is as sincere as yourself. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for your sharing. And I agree with you, because sometimes when it looks too good to be true, chances are it is. I think, you know, like we have some of our participants, you know, they have said that some of the scammers are pretty low skilled. I agree. Some of them do use a SOP. It's very obvious. Like, for example, they'll always say they are like engineers, you know, like they are from UK, or like they are usually like in the army, you know, they will be in like uniforms and things like that. So some of them are really very obvious. But, you know, like what Andrea has said, you know, there are some that they really have upped the game, and they would go to the extent of like creating so many different fake people to talk to you to increase the trust. So these are some of the people that really have been scammed a lot of money. And also, just to add on to what Andrea has shared, you know, I have met someone personally, you know, she's a friend of mine, like I would say from long time ago, and I just met her again recently. And, you know, she is someone that you would never thought would be scammed. Yeah, because, you know, like she is intelligent, she is, you know, doing very well in her career. Like, because I think sometimes we think that, oh, people are scammed because they just, you know, not so aware, they are not so savvy, but that's not true. So a lot of professionals, you know, they have been scammed because like, you know, what Andrea has mentioned is really a matter of the heart. It's like somehow, you know, if the scammer is able to, you know, really connect with the person emotionally. And I think the other scary part is that sometimes they know that they are scammed. So this is another story that I've heard. So the friends around her was actually telling her, oh my goodness, I think you are being scammed. So, you know, like you better stop talking to this person. But because the person is already so deeply in love, she actually went and tell the scammer that my friends are telling me to stop talking to you because they think you're a scammer. And then the scammer actually say, oh, you should, you know, like stay away from your friends, you know, they are trying to break us up. So these are some of the things that we really need to take note of. So for Melinda, I understand that you two have some great tips for us on how singles can protect themselves from scammers.
Yes, I think it's I mean, I just run down a checklist to make it very simple, so it's easier. Of course, these are more obvious ones. They are the very highly skilled ones, but I think the more obvious ones, over time you can just see that they are scammers at a glance already. Like what Andrea mentioned, they look like a supermodel. I actually do have a slide, a picture of one of these gentleman. I don't know if you can get it up. So he is on actually an Instagram account now. He's not on a dating app, but he was trying to reach out as like a fake profile, sort of like on dating apps. So they don't just come at you from dating apps anymore. They even try to scam you on social media and so on. Yeah, so this profile, yeah, I received a lot of messages from this person. So I actually did play along, to be honest, just to see how it works out, you know. And the moment when I asked for a video call, he disappeared. And he surfaced again 2 weeks later and pretended nothing happened, and then started chatting again. And always the first thing they'll do is give an endearment. They will say, dear, how are you? How's your day? You know, something like that. And interestingly, you get a bit worried because they do stalk you, because they do look at your profile and see what you posted, and they can comment. So you do know that they notice you sometimes. So it's quite scary lah. Yeah, but anyway, I stopped lah. I deleted that profile. So I mean, like a checklist, like besides looking like a supermodel. Oh, by the way, if you want to know if this person is real, you can actually use this Google reverse image search. So if you feel that this picture is not this person, you can actually use Google reverse image search, and you can try to find out find the background of this person. And of course, also this person, if he's so good looking, right, how come he don't have a digital footprint? If this person is so good looking, he would have appeared somewhere already. Yeah, so very quite obvious lah if this person is a fake profile. And I realized that a lot of them come from they take these profiles from China. This because they don't use Instagram or Facebook, if I'm not wrong. So they're on WeChat or Weibo or something like that. So they actually do take all these profiles from there and then they post into the Amor platforms like the Facebook and so on. And a lot of people wouldn't know them actually. And also, if you see that both of you are a perfect match, right, then I would say you should check their preferences, because usually they put their preferences very wide, so that a lot of people fall into what they are looking for, and then they can chat with a lot of people on these dating apps. And of course, like what I mentioned, also they are afraid of video calls. So the moment you suggest a video call, they probably disappear. And they'll try to lure you off the dating site. So they will ask for your number. They'll ask for other ways to reach out to you. And Violet also mentioned they are usually foreigners living far away. Then they always plan to come and visit you, but they always have a lot of drama. Something always happen, then they cannot come, and then they will start asking for money. So they may not even ask within a month or two. Sometimes it drags on, and it's very amazing how the amount of patience and the amount of work that these scammers actually put in to take your money lah. And I think another thing which is quite obvious is the way they speak. So if they say that they are some I don't know, engineer or something, and then they speak with a very bad English, sometimes that's also a red flag. Yeah, so these are some, but I wouldn't say encompass everything. I think a lot of comments that we receive, I saw that they are very intricate already, the way these scammers work, and I think it would be interesting to learn more and more each time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melinda. I think those are great tips and a lot of different resources that our participants can use as well. So I think, like our participants also have been very helpful. I think some of them even have sent out the link of scam stories. So it's true, like scamalert.sg, there are some scam stories. So I think by reading through some of these stories, it will give you a very clear idea of the way that some of these scammers work. And when this is being so-called used on you, you get a good idea or a good or a red flag, of what this is all about. Yep. So we actually have quite a number of questions that we would like to answer. Okay, so let me just go through some of the questions that we have been asked so far. Okay. So okay, so one of the first questions that we have been asked is, how do you find the perfect match for clients? Do you use personality tests? So since, like Andrea is our senior dating consultant here, I think, Andrea, you can answer this question.
Okay, sure. So there is actually no perfect match, and there is never going to be one. Personally, I feel that there won't be actually a perfect person waiting for us out there. So as a dating consultant, I will usually hear what my clients want. So usually they will have an invisible checklist in their mind. So they will say that, oh, I want this, I want 1.8 meter tall, I want someone with double eyelids, I want someone with long hair. They will have this kind of checklist in their mind when they come over to our agency. So it's not a wrong thing, it's normal, it's really very normal. But as a dating consultant, my role is definitely trying to manage the expectations. So what we will do will be to encourage them to be more open in who they are meeting, and also be more open in meeting people of different industry especially. So I will always encourage my client that don't also like judge a person on the first date, try to go on second date with the same person. So with these aspects, right, they are able to enjoy their date better, and success rate is definitely higher. So dating is really fun. So you guys should really enjoy the process. Yeah.
Thank you, Andrea, for that. So just want to let everybody know who is on this call, you can actually use the Q&A function to actually ask any questions that you have. So currently the questions that we are answering are the ones that have been sent prior to this. So, like when we ask for registration, we give the option for all of you to ask us questions. So we are going through those questions first. But of course, if you have other questions that you did not manage to send in earlier, please use the Q&A box, and we'll definitely do our best to answer as many questions as possible. So I have a question for Melinda, who is our date coach. So I think this is something that a lot of people would like to find out more about, be it in a face-to-face setting or even in a virtual date setting that we are talking about right now. So the question is, how do you engage a shy and quiet person in a conversation when you go on a date?
Okay. So it depends on how shy this person is, right? Okay, let's assume this person is really very shy. Very likely you will have to be the one that make the move. So be it whether you're the female or the guy, yeah. So you probably have to be the one to make that first approach. Important to make him or her feel very comfortable. Just be yourself, of course, and don't be too loud or energetic. Usually these people don't receive very well to a lot of energy at one time. So just make her feel or him feel comfortable, and then if you are humorous, let's say, I mean, don't tell a silly joke lah, but then if you feel you are quite humorous, of course you can try to make him or her laugh, tell some funny stories, make him or her feel comfortable with humor, and be patient. So patience is very important because this person may take time to warm up. But once they warm up, right, some of these shy people do become very talkative themselves. So just be patient, give this person opportunity and time. Ask open-ended questions. So when you're talking, don't make it look like sound like an interview. Just give time for this person to respond. Sometimes they're thinking, or sometimes they're just not that fast to talk. So give them time to respond to your open-ended question, and be an active listener. So always listen to what this person says, and rephrase it in your own way. So this shy person knows that you have heard or listened to him or her. Okay, show interest by observing her or him, things that he or she like, talk about it, and don't dominate the conversation. Sometimes silence is okay. So if you feel like you're talking too much and the person is uncomfortable, it may be quite awkward, the awkward silence, but sometimes it's really okay. We have to learn to be comfortable with silence sometimes. So don't force this person to talk. Don't make this shy person the center of attention, because that's what they hate most. And very important, don't keep asking, why are you so quiet? Is there something bothering you? It really irritates a shy person. So these are some tips to engage a shy person in a conversation.
Thank you, Melinda. Okay, so we have a question from the floor. So maybe Andrea can help us with this one. So the question is, what's the difference between a dating coach and a dating consultant? So Andrea, you want to, share with our participants today?
Okay, so the difference between a coach as well as a consultant. So me, myself, I am a consultant. So I do meet clients and singles on a daily basis. My job simply is to understand about their dating profile, and also, of course, their dating preferences, and really understand like why are they not successful in their previous relationships. So from these aspects, I'll be able to understand more about their what are they looking for moving forward. And for our clients over here, some may be they don't have any experience in dating before, or they have been not dating for very, very long. So they have lost touch in the dating scene. So they actually need some booster to help them to get more success during the dates itself. So that's where we will be, introducing them the date coach. That's where Melinda will be the date coach for them. So it can be in terms of like date coaching to empower them with dating skills. For example, to how to have a good conversation starter, how to get second dates. Then Melinda also is working on like image. So some clients they go on a date wearing their corporate wear. There's nothing wrong, but I think during a date can be more dressy. So that's where Melinda will be telling them more about colors that is suitable for them, and the dress styles according to their character also and personality.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for that. We have another question. So the question is, does an introverted or extroverted person have a higher success in finding a partner? So Melinda, you would like to help our participant with that one?
Hi, okay. So the question is if an introverted or extroverted person has higher success. Sorry, did I hear that correctly?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Okay. I would say they're both equal. I don't think it plays a part whether you're introverted or extroverted, because when you meet the right person, doesn't really matter if it's introvert or extrovert. I think you all both will be able to communicate at the level that both of you are able to connect at. So being introverted also doesn't mean that you work well with just an introverted person. You could work well with someone who's very extroverted as well. Sometimes opposites attract. So up to today, I always tell my clients, I wish I had a formula. I have a formula for matching so that we would know what works, but it's not always the case. In fact, many times we hear stories of very different personality types, very different characters that work. And so up to today, it's still learning for us. So whether introvert or extrovert, higher success rate, I would say they both have a fair chance.
Thank you so much, Melinda. And we have another question. Andrea, maybe you can help us with this one. So one of our participants asked, which is the safest dating app from your experience? Does LA have a dating app?
Okay. Yes, LA we has a dating called Lunch Click. So Lunch Click works on one match a day. So if you have a mutual match, right, on 12 p.m. you will receive a match, and you can you can actually talk on the dating app also regarding some interests and personalities, and from there, if both of you are comfortable with each other, you can actually fix a date to go out together.
Thank you, Andrea, for that. And we have so many questions coming in. Okay, we're going to do our best to answer them. Okay, so this one is quite interesting. So Melinda, I think you can help our participant with this one. If the person in the date always believes the next one that he or she is going to meet is going to be better, it's just going to be an endless game. How do you avoid such a situation from happening? So I thought this is really interesting, because usually this is what I call like elevator dating, like, always thinking that the next floor will be better. So maybe Melinda, you can help our participant with this one.
I wonder if this question just came from my client. Because I hear this question all the time, and in fact, last night I had a 2-hour conversation with one of my clients who is having somewhat similar problem, and we were just chatting about it. And so I don't have the answer to him to tell him for sure, right? Doesn't mean I wouldn't know that a better one is going to come, but I think at this point, who you are already seeing, let's say you have some attraction or you have someone in mind already, and you think that that could be it could possibly work, then I would say go for it and just try, because if you just keep waiting, you're just going to get older, and a lot of clients of ours have always been doing that. They always think that she's not the one, the next one is going to come, and time passes very fast. And before you know it, you're in your late 30s and your 40s. So that person may not come. Then again, he may come or she may come at 50, but then you will have missed out a big chunk of your life already. Possibly could have been with another person who could also have been a great relationship you could have. But at this point, I would say if you already have someone in mind, give that person a fair chance. Just go try out. If it didn't work, at least you have tried. So don't just keep waiting or wanting to meet someone else. So I just think that at this point, make the best informed decision that you have with whoever you have with you right now.
Thank you, Melinda, for that. So we have another question. So Andrea, I think, as a dating consultant, you have to set up dates and things like that. So I think this is right up your alley. So the question is it common for someone to back out just before a date, or to keep changing when to meet for a date?
Okay, it's okay to be, I think why they have this thought and behavior is because probably they are unsure, or probably they are kind of like anxious of what to do and what not to do during a date. That's why they will have these thoughts of backing out or even changing restaurants. So I think for these aspects, try to, because this date has already, a tip lah, is to really to if the date is already confirmed, so try not to change the date, especially at last minute. And this will cause actually a bad impression of the person. And try, if you are not really confident or going for the date, if you need some tips, you can definitely go online, Google about dating tips and how to have a good conversation starter. And I think a tip to all my clients who are really anxious to go on dates, and they will ask, oh, Andrea, what should I talk during dates? Should I talk about work, or should I talk about, what should I talk about? I say, okay, it's best not to talk about work, because work can be quite boring to talk about it. Then I think what we can do is talk about things that we are passionate about. So when we talk about things that we are passionate about, right, our eyes just bright up and conversation just keep flowing. Even though for those introvert or takes time to warm up members, right, they can be very engaging during the date itself. Like for example, if you know that he is a dog lover and you are also a dog lover, can talk about each other's pets. Then this is how you engage, and the conversation just starts and rolls on very naturally.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Okay, so another question about dating apps. So Melinda, this one is for you. So do dating apps actually work? Do I need to look like Chris Hemsworth or have a car to get a match? So what do you think?
I think dating apps do work, to be very honest. Not for everyone, but they do work. I hear a lot of success stories on them. But you need a lot of time, you need a lot of patience, and sometimes I feel a bit luck. It depends on who is online or who has put out a profile at that point. I have you don't have to look like manhunt guy or anything like that, or the lady don't have to be the most beautiful, because I realize working with my clients, everybody's version of pretty or beauty is so different, and I realized we are very insecure. So a lot of my clients who are very pretty to me or good looking, they don't think so themselves. So when they put up their own profiles, they don't think they look really good. Yeah, but actually they do. So I think it's really just how you present that real you on your profile. So you don't have to look very handsome, but you just need to look presentable, good enough, and that's the real you. And then you will still attract that right person who is attracted to you. So there will be the right kind of person for you. So dating apps do work, just need to put in a little bit more time, a bit more effort, and just be very careful, as we talked about scammers before. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melinda. So there are a lot of questions coming in. Unfortunately, we are not able to answer all of them today. We'll do our best to get back to you. So if there's any pressing questions that you have for us, like to put it up in the Q&A box and put in your contact details as well. So we'll definitely get back to you, I would say, at the end of this session or by the end of this week as quickly as we can. So once again, thanks, Andrea and Melinda, for sharing your advice. And I believe that, despite the challenging situation we have right now, which is MCO or circuit breaker, which we can't control, why we are doing the webinar today is we really want to encourage, like all our participants today, all singles out there, to really take control of this part of your dating life. So despite, you might not be able to be out there, like meeting people face to face, but at the end of the day, there's still the other option, which is virtual dates. So actually a lot of dating services, of course, including ourselves, Lunch, actually, we are offering virtual dates. So I just want to have a very quick poll, to understand from our audience right now. Like, okay, so I'm going to send out the poll. Let's see if you can see it. So I'd like to know how many of you have actually tried out virtual dates. So I'm going to launch the poll now. So I've launched the poll. Yes, so you should see it on your screen. Okay, let's see how many people. Okay, the answers are coming in fast and furious. So we have more than 200 people on the call right now. And so far, okay, I'll just let it run a bit more. Yes, so please do take part. So far we have about 80+%, 84%, 85% who have not ever tried out virtual dates, and we have 15% who have tried out virtual dates. Awesome. So, like I think we have about 20 over participants here in this call right now who have tried out virtual dates. Okay, I'm just going to end the poll right now. Thank you so much for taking part. And now we also would like to find out, like those of you who have not tried out virtual dates, right? What is actually the biggest obstacle that's stopping you? Like what makes you feel, a bit uncomfortable of actually trying out virtual dates? Yeah, so yeah, we have some answers for you on the screen. Feel free to. Okay, so we have people who say that it feels more like a work meeting instead of a date. Yeah, what else? Feels awkward. And what if both are more quiet? Okay, so I think we have quite a number of different answers. To me, I think 2 seems to be coming out quite often, 4 as well. And some of you, say all of the above. Okay, thanks for that. I think, this definitely gives us a better idea of some of the challenges that you might find trying out virtual date. Some people say it's hard to think about stuff to talk about. Okay, that's we understand that. So that's the reason why we are also doing many different things to encourage or I would say provide the platform for our users to actually have more enjoyable virtual dates. So actually, on this note, I also wanted to answer one of the questions that some of our participants have put up, so the person put it up before the webinar and then he sent it in again now. So I think he really wants to hear my answer. So the question is, how are you guys adapting to the new business environment moving forward in the next 12 to 15 months? And also, do we see virtual dates as a trend moving forward? So the truth of the matter is definitely we do foresee a lot more activities going online. However, we do understand that singles, still like to have a personal touch, and I believe that's the reason why, like so many of you have also called in today for this webinar. So for us, we are actually adapting our service to have the option of being more virtual as well. So, we are having virtual dates, we have virtual consultations, and in fact, we also even have virtual speed dating. So I'm not sure if everybody is aware of this. We have a speed dating event happening this week. So do check it out, just email us to find out more if you'd like to find out more how you can be part of this virtual speed dating event. And we'll also be doing a lot more webinars like this too. So I mean, just quickly, did you enjoy today's webinar? Like, do you feel that you have learned something that you can use for future virtual dates? Yeah, so maybe you just like to share with us, what you have learned. Did you like it? Would you like us to do more of this? Do tell us in the chat. And please do encourage my 2 lovely panelists for today, like my wonderful dating consultant, Andrea, and also my date coach, Melinda, they really have prepared very hard today for today's session. So, please share with us in the chat, what do you learn, what do you like about it, and also what are some of the things that you would like to learn in future webinars. This would definitely be very helpful for us to put together our next webinar. And on that note, I also would like to invite Andrea to share with all of you a special lunch, actually virtual dating package with all of you on the call today. So thank you so much for being on the call until now. So I think, everybody has continued to be on the call and we really appreciate it. So Andrea, I'd like to pass it to you for you to share with them this virtual package that we have put together for them.
All right, thank you, Violet. So we are also very excited to come out with this virtual dates package, especially for our clients. So in fact, we do have over here, we do handpicking of matches for our clients, and after which we will be setting up the virtual date for you. So I think some of you are concerned that what if both of you are very quiet during the date, what to do, and you'll be very awkward. No worries, we will have some, we will probably have some pre-questions that you all can prepare, like for example, can share 3 interesting facts about each other. Then that's how we can do the icebreaker, and after which you can be more comfortable talking to each other. So no worries, we'll get you prepped up before the date. We won't throw you to failure. So definitely we are here with you. So myself, my team, as well as Melinda will definitely be supporting you. So especially for webinar participants today, we have a very special rate for all of you. So basically what we will need you guys to do is to private message myself or even Violet or Melinda to let us know that you are keen to find out more. Then we can give you a promo code, and from then we will be getting in touch with you for a consultation, of course, over the video. Okay. So looking forward to see all of you soon. Thank you.
So thank you, Andrea, for sharing that. So the first 50 singles to inquire, you'll get a very special promotion. So you can do it right now on Zoom. You can just private message Melinda, or you can private message Andrea, or you can actually email them right after this, as you can see on the screen right now. We would love to help you to get on virtual dates. You know, like we mentioned just now, we are actually doing a lot of very interesting ideas, so you don't need to worry about it being boring. You don't need to worry about it seems like work, because it's definitely going to be very different, and it's not going to be like what you imagine it to be. So we are going to help you through this process. We really want to be supporting you throughout this circuit breaker or this MCO, so that you still can continue to meet new people during this session. So thank you so much, guys, for being such an amazing and attentive group. Like honestly, when we first started this, we are really worried that, you know, would people be answering questions, you know, that we asked, and you guys have just been so supportive. You make all of us feel really comfortable. We have enjoyed ourselves thoroughly in today's webinar, and we hope that you have as well. So this is really just the beginning. Please share in the chat, you know, what else you'd like us to talk about in future webinars. So take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and most importantly, as I always say, stay home, so that we can all help to slow the transmission. So please enjoy the rest of the day. We'll be back again with another webinar soon. So thank you so much. Bye.